Angular taps into some of the best aspects of server-side development and uses them to enhance HTML in the browser, creating a foundation that makes building rich applications simpler and easier. Angular applications are built around a clear design pattern that emphasizes creating applications that are extendable, maintainable, testable, and standardized. Angular is an open source JavaScript library that is sponsored and maintained by Google. It has been used in some of the largest and most complex web apps around. In this tutorial, I show you everything you need to know to get the benefits of Angular in your projects. Angular is not the solution to every problem, and it is important to know when you should use Angular and when you should seek an alternative. Angular delivers the kind of functionality that used to be available only to server-side developers, but delivers it entirely in the browser. This means Angular has a lot of work to do each time an HTML document to which Angular has been applied is loaded. The HTML elements have to be compiled, the data bindings have to be evaluated, components and other building blocks need to be executed, and so on. This kind of work takes time to perform, and the amount of time depends on the complexity of the HTML document, on the associated JavaScript code, and critically, on the quality of the browser and the processing capability of the device. You won't notice any delay when using the latest browsers on a capable desktop machine, but old browsers on underpowered smartphones can slow down the initial setup of an Angular app. The goal is to perform this setup as infrequently as possible and deliver as much of the app as possible to the user when it is performed. This means giving careful thought to the kind of web application you build. In broad terms, there are two kinds of web applications: round-trip and single-page. For a long time, web apps were developed to follow a round-trip model. The browser requests an initial HTML document from the server. User interactions, such as clicking a link or submitting a form, led the browser to request and receive a completely new HTML document. In this kind of application, the browser is essentially a rendering engine for HTML content, and all of the application logic and data resides on the server. The browser makes a series of stateless HTTP requests that the server handles by generating HTML documents dynamically. Some current web development is still for round-trip applications, not least because they require little from the browser, which ensures the widest possible client support. But there are some drawbacks to round-trip applications. They make the user wait while the next HTML document is requested and loaded. They require a large server-side infrastructure to process all the requests and manage all the application state, and they require more bandwidth because each HTML document has to be self-contained. Single-page applications takes a different approach. An initial HTML document is sent to the browser along with JavaScript code, but user interactions lead to AJAX requests for small fragments of HTML or data inserted into the existing set of elements being displayed to the user. The initial HTML document is never reloaded or replaced, and the user can continue to interact with the existing HTML while the AJAX requests are being performed asynchronously, even if that just means seeing a data loading message. The single-page application model is perfect for Angular. There are two main competitors to Angular: React and Vue.js. There are some low-level differences between them, but for the most part, all of these frameworks are excellent. All of them work in similar ways, and all of them can be used to create rich and fluid client-side applications. The main difference between these frameworks is the developer experience. Angular requires you to use TypeScript to be effective. For example, if you are used to using a language like C# or Java, then TypeScript will be familiar, and it addresses some of the oddities of the JavaScript language. Vue.js and React don't require TypeScript. but lean toward mixing HTML, JavaScript, and CSS content together in a single file, which not everyone likes. So, my advice is simple. Pick the framework that you like the look of the most and switch to one of the others if you don't get on with it. That may seem like an unscientific approach, but there is not a bad choice to make, and you will find that many of the core concepts carry over between frameworks even if you switch.